Morning, everyone. How are we doing today? September 15th, Tuesday, I think. Yeah, I think it's Tuesday. So Tuesday, September 15th, this is your daily financial news. Good morning. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day. These are the headlines, the financial headlines that caught my attention today. First and foremost, I thought Chamath buying, who's the CEO of a SPAC, Social Capital. I've talked about him a couple of times. I think he has a chance to be this generation's Warren Buffett. And if you follow me for any length of time, you know I don't say that lightly. I've seen him interviewed several different times. I have watched him on several different interviews. He's been on YouTube for quite a while. Again, Chamath, I think, could be this generation's Warren Buffett and someone I am going to be following certainly for the next couple of decades. Well, he made a big splash today. He spent $4.6 billion, yes, a billy, on acquiring Opendoor. Opendoor, you probably know what it is, but just in case you don't, it's one of those iBuying platforms. Again, they are in 21 markets as of today. He called it a 10x idea, and it kind of goes to what we have been talking about on this channel, right? What have we been talking about? We've been talking about home ownership going up. Clearly, number one in Chamath's story is home ownership is going up, right? He needs transactions with this Opendoor platform that he now will be eventually owning and running, but also digitization, right? The buying and selling of a home is, I don't know, becoming easier, I guess you would say. And, you know, the ability to transact with DocuSign and other things, you really can do it without actually seeing anybody in person these days, which is kind of crazy. But I think it is interesting. I do think it kind of shows, I think it really shows that home ownership is going to be rising. You know, Chamath is spending $4.6 billion on Opendoor. There's a lot of room for iBuyers. I think the big story is, because if you follow the iBuyers like I have, they're not very profitable. And one would argue, certainly if you looked at Zillow's numbers, you know, in 2019, they weren't profitable. But I think there's a bigger story. There's a lot of services around the home buying process, from escrow to lending to insurance to inspections to staging to, you know, just keep rattling them off. My suspicion is A, Chamath is going to take Opendoor to more than 21 markets quickly. B, he is going to wrap it around with other digital products and use the transacting of homes, which I'm sure he plans to get better at. I trust he doesn't plan to lose money. But my guess is, you know, if we fast forward to like 2024, my wild ass guess is he'll be making kind of 30% of the profit from transacting homes, being the buyer or the seller, but where he'll make 70% of the profit, and really the margin is in all the services that he'll wrap around it. So that's my suspicion. That's what I would do if I had that kind of scratch and that kind of inclination to go big. Got to go to more markets. You got to really tune in the AI. And then the other thing to realize, folks, is transacting homes today is hot, right? And it probably stays hot for a while, as I've talked about on this channel several times. But it won't always be hot. So what happens to the iBuyers, Opendoor, Zillow, others, when the market gets a little soft, right? Think, was it 2018, late 18, they just shut it off, right? I think they shut it off in February as well, right? So remember, these models need to improve, and if the market ever turns against them, oof, they could be caught with some inventory, mispriced inventory. So again, it'll be interesting. I can't imagine being in all those markets and consolidating all that data. But again, if you have artificial intelligence, boots on the ground, access to cheap capital, makes total sense. And again, I'm going to be following this. I think Chamath could be this generation's Warren Buffett. I really hope I'm saying his name right. I'm making every attempt to. I'm only saying his first name because I would butcher the last name. So I'm doing my best for a sign of respect. I just don't want to make that kind of big old mistake. Next up, what I got for you, I don't know if you saw this. I actually saw this last night. Pepsi. Yes, Pepsi is going to introduce a soft drink to aid in sleep. Apparently, we're all grinding our teeth, cracking our teeth. I read in the article, it referenced a study by dentists that we're really stressed out. Can only imagine. Certainly, 2020 has been no fun. But Pepsi is, going to be introducing a soda, a drink to aid in sleep, and they call it $1 billion idea. Good for them. Things about drinks is they're quickly copied, so we could see a whole line of shelves with sleep aid drinks now, and we'll see what happens there. Also think the K-shaped recovery continues. I think it is obvious. I think the market's up this morning. If you're big, you win. If you're mom and pop, you lose. Kind of just terrible, right? Main Street and Wall Street disconnected. Talk of a skinny stimulus deal seems to go nowhere. I mean, shoot, Chuck couldn't even get it out of the Senate. Just not good. Lennar, we talked about Lennar over the weekend being an interesting report to watch. It kind of landed like a thud. As expected, and we shared on Sunday, they beat top and bottom line. Kind of told you that, and then I said it wasn't important about the quarter. It was the future what we were looking for, and this is where it went. Boom. They said that Q4 prices will come down. Kind of took the wind out of the sail. I'm not really sure why that is. I don't know if they're really calling for the election to slow things down. I don't know if they're calling lumber prices to come down, hence they can lower prices. I don't know. I got to dig into that, but that was that's not going to help the stock. I would expect Lennar to be down on that news because it's not about stock investing. At least most of the time is not about the last quarter. It's about the next quarter, and an average price fall being your kind of base case. Probably not what the analysts were expecting. So I would expect Lennar to be down and probably take most of housing with it. So it'll be interesting to watch. Amazon continues to kick sand in the retailer's face. Amazon launched today a luxury store for designer brands. Think Bloomingdale's and Nordstrom's and stuff like that, where you used to have these high-end designers only releasing certain quantities, right? Really scarce. Well, you know what? They gave up. They used to say, I'm not going to show up on Amazon, but now Amazon has created their own store, their own footprint. And, now you can be a pretty high-end designer and not have a footprint, right? A physical store. That's going to be really attractive going forward. I'm sure it'll be fits and starts in the beginning, but I bet by late 21, maybe 2022, a lot of luxury brands will be in this market. And I suspect brand new luxury brands, talking about the year of the entrepreneur, there'll be brand new designers that enter the market and thrive on Amazon. So it'll be fun to watch. Snowflake, again, I think goes public tomorrow. Its price continues to rise. Right now they're expecting to raise $2.9 billion, and that will be the largest software IPO ever. Current record holder is VMware. They are looking at Snowflake raising 2.9, being the largest software IPO ever. Expect this stock to run on the first day of opening. I'm talking 50, 60, 100%. There is so much talk on this stock. Everybody wants to get a piece. Warren Buffett, Salesforce taking $250 million investments. It is going to run. Looks like TikTok and Oracle did strike a technology partnership. It's kind of hinted at it yesterday. Not an acquisition. This doesn't sit well with me, honestly. Again, the executive order that I saw talked about a sale to a U.S.-based company being the requirement. This, as near as I can tell, is not a sale. But Oracle is friendly with the administration. So, hey, do your friend a solid, give him the deal. I guess it's politics. It's kind of the worst side of politics and kind of the stuff we accuse others of doing, and I don't know. Just bothers me. Anyways, It is what it is. The other thing we're seeing is we're seeing more and more retailers and restaurants going bankrupt. I do want to talk about, bankruptcies doesn't mean liquidation, right? Remember that bankruptcy can just mean the restructuring of debt, coming out stronger. Lots and lots of companies go bankrupt and thrive after. We have to take the sting out of that. I do think we're going to have record bankruptcies between here and the end of the year. It is interesting. The other thing to talk about is it looks like 26%, call it 1 in 4 for rounding. 1 in 4 Americans have decided to take some kind of delayed or payment deferral. It's not debt forgiveness, it's deferral. I don't know how to look at that, right? 1 in 4, well, the good news is 3 out of 4 didn't, right? If you want to look at the glass half full. But it does feel, I guess that's what I would expect. If you sit here, you think about, we had 20% unemployment, lower rung, retail, restaurants, all of that, travel, hospitality. It kind of feels like it had to be 25%. Hopefully with this coming out of it, again, I'm seeing 2021 being a pretty good year. We can get back to, more of us paying our bills on time. But 26%. Then we have holiday forecast. People are calling the holiday season to rise 1 to 1.5%. We're a consumer-based economy. I understand why they're saying that, but what do you think? I don't see that. 2019 was the best economy ever, according to the talking heads on TV. 2020 Q4 is gonna suck, right? 2020 Q4 gonna be terrible, right? If we have no stimulus, we're coming off an election. It's probably contentious. You think we're gonna be spending money on gifts, right? Are we gonna rely on the rich to be splurging? How are the not rich gonna belt tighten? I just don't see it. And maybe they don't want to talk about holiday being negative, but I do. I think it's going to be a negative holiday season, and it will be the nail in the coffin for lots of retailers, right? Lots of retailers make most, if not all, their profit in the holiday season, right? They limp through Thanksgiving and then make all of their profit between Thanksgiving and the end of the year. I just don't see how 2020 holiday season is better than 19. We had 3.5% unemployment. We'll have 8% unemployment. I just don't see it. But let me know if I think I'm wrong. I think Black Friday gets canceled, right? Black Friday everything goes online. I don't see stores, saying, "Hey, come rush in," and this holiday season is going to be completely different. And then lastly, we've talked about Nikola a couple of times. I kind of indicated yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, where there's smoke, there's fire. I really, really, really didn't like the fact that Nikola tried to respond to the short seller. It was a very weak response. It reminds me of my experience with Enron. If you know my story, I lost a lot of money betting on a hot stock, and I got taken to the cleaners. No idea if this is the case. I'm just sharing my history. But again, in a hot market, you can have stocks that trade on momentum and fraud, frankly. Look at Wirecard in Germany this year. Fraud does exist. There are people out there looking to take your money. I experienced it twice with Enron and WorldCom. We've seen an example with Wirecard. We seem to see a couple of high-profile examples every year. We'll see if Nikola's the next one, or GM evaluated and supposedly put in $2 billion. We'll see. We shall see. So, it is. It's not a good time to be at Nikola. I wouldn't think. That Hindenburg report was pretty damaging. I've read the highlights, and it's like 56 questions or 54 questions. And what has always set me off is their CEO, and I've said this a couple of times, is that kind of charismatic kind of guy that's out there just spinning a nice yarn, and he mesmerizes you with words. And when that happens, I get very nervous. And again, I get very nervous because I've been suckered before. So All right. Well, I got get ready for an interview I have at 8 o'clock. I'm excited about it. Somebody I met on Instagram. Gonna love hearing his story. So that will be up later in the day. Of course, you have a wonderful day. And if you like these daily financial news, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, help me out. And of course, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.